Good morning and welcome to the celebration of Father Justin's 60th anniversary of his ordination to the priesthood. My name is Nancy Chisholm and I'm a volunteer here at the Hermitage, and I'm going to help us through this presentation today by pressing, hopefully, the right buttons. You see the message on the screen. We'd like you to keep muted until it's share time, so we don't get doorbells, dogs barking, and all of that while Father's talking. Most of you know the drill. We also are recording today's session, so you probably are getting a message about allowing that.
So
our agenda for today is ahead of us. First, we'll have a little meditation from Father Justin to keep us going. Then he'll do his presentation. We're going to have some time for group exchange, and then we'll share from those groups and finally say goodbye.
So if you could, please close your eyes and allow your body to relax. And image God's presence within you as light. And see us all connected in that divine, cosmic, unconditional love energy. And we say thank you for the opportunity to share this morning, or this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you are. And we thank God for the opportunities that we have had to share our lives together and to share our truths together and to share the power and the practice of meditation together. And we thank divine, cosmic, unconditional love for the opportunity of this hour. And we say, Amen. You know, I wanted just to give you a bird's eye view of where I come from and what I've been through, and where we still have to go. So this is the beginning. Now you will notice on the drum, the Godek, Belitz, accordion, Navaliers. And if you go from the left and count, I'm the third on the accordion. But I used to wear a grass skirt and I used to shake it real good. Next one. And I wanted to put this in because this was a really important part of my life. As we were growing up during the war years, we were entertaining at hospitals and USO camps. Very important experience. And this is where I had got all my nurturing from the time I was a very small child. My mom, my brother Jack, and my brother Joe and brother Jim, and Daddy. That's where my spiritual life began. Aren't I cute? And of course, we celebrated a lot. This is the celebration of me going to the seminary. And here I am in the monastery where we had very, very meager meals. I was thin enough, I came out thinner. And my brother Jim, he was our clown and the most important musician in the family. And I knew I was going to be a priest at age 5. And this is the beginning of the ordination mass, where we had a live prostrate. And I remember I broke into tears. It was a goal that took me 20 years. And here's the bishop giving me the power of priesthood. And vesting for my first mass in Omaha. And that's a celebration with the family. They came from all over the country. And this is where I was giving my first blessings. And from there, I went to Padua High School. My passion all my life has been with music, and I started there. I don't have a great many slides of Padua, but there were 13 important years of my life teaching music. And here at the beginning of our tours. Oh yes, for many years we were taking groups to places all over the world, and I was living then at Alverna. That's what the background here is. And the most important work I was doing at that time were parish renewals. And this is one from Australia in, this was a morning session, but when I had my Thursday night closing, we had 1,200 people there. And I was doing retreats also for different groups. This is a group of retired nuns in the Chicago area. And I was also doing successful living classes with children in many of the places where I went. And traveling also to the Holy Land. And here we are at the Hermitage in 1984.
Typo.
And this is one of our volunteers representing the many, many volunteers who have helped us, not only here, but abroad. And the person is Lillian Kresick, really dear, dear friend of ours. And this is one of the trips that we made to the Holy Land. We really didn't kiss. And here we are. I was doing teaching abroad also. Oh, and I was really proud of the person on the right. You know, in my successful living class, we talk about the importance of creativity. And that's her very first painting after she did the class. And on the left is the class itself in Brussels. Oh, I tell you, the young people that I have met over all these years in my classes have been really great gifts. You know, the young man in the center, this is in Latvia. Latvians cannot understand Lithuanians. They live next door, so their common language is Russian. So when I was getting a class, I had a Russian translator. And this youngster came up to me at a break, speaking perfect English. I was amazed. He speaks Latvian and Lithuanian and Russian. And we really bonded, as you can see. And back in Lithuania, I did a radio interview for the entire country. And the priest who was interviewing me became the bishop. But I just want to add here, all over Australia and in Europe, New York, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Indianapolis, I was on television really touching millions of people. It was wonderful. And here we are with some more young people. And on the left, after we get finished with all the work, we party. And here we are in Poland. Oh, I'll tell you, I taught in at least 5 or 6 major cities in Poland. And I was always embarrassed because that's where my heritage is. All my grandparents came from Poland, and I can't speak the language, but I can tell Polish jokes. And this is Romania. This is last year. I was teaching this class, and it was during this class that the word came out about the pandemic. And we had teams here in Romania and also in Brussels, shifting all of my plane tickets so that I could get on the very last plane that left Europe for US citizens only. It was really a miracle. Oh, and when I get finished with all of my work in in Europe, I spend 1 week with the friars in Naples, and the center person is Antonio, whom I've known for, at least 20 years, and Sister Paula, and we always have such a fantastic time. And Sister Paula put this picture together because it's part of my relationships class. And this is the very first class that I did in Australia. It's at the University of Western Australia, and I was teaching successful living. And they booked out the history department. And that was the beginning of 30 years of returning to Australia to teach, especially my successful living class. And in Australia, this is a meditation class that I did at the Catholic Center. And I also taught at Peace Be Still. Part of my parish renewals were especially getting to the children. And it was always wonderful to work with them. And this is at Peace Be Still in Australia. They were doing a very special program, a ballet at Chittering. And my heart is still there. And this is another photo on the veranda at Peace Be Still. And here we are in Assisi more recently. I really enjoyed going there. I lived in Assisi for 4 months. It's the only place where I had homesickness when I left. I don't know what that's all about. And of course, we visited Rome frequently. And here, my mom, who wanted to travel all her life, and because my dad became a Jehovah's Witness, she thought that was impossible. So she started to join all the trips that we took with the group. And together we had a fantastic time. And here we are in Malta. I returned there twice. Once for meeting with all the English-speaking Franciscan provincials from all over the world. And that's when I swam with the dolphins. It was wonderful. And here I found this wonderful creature in Africa. We did a trip to Kenya, and we went into the Serengeti. It was a fabulous experience. And retreats at sea. We did one of those every year for almost 20 years. And the picture here is the chaplain with his girlfriend and other people who were there on the trip. Oh, and here we are on another sea trip with my Aunt Clara and Uncle Pete and my Uncle Joe and myself. Oh, these are such fabulous memories. And then we went to Alaska. And we met the Pope. I met the Pope several times. He was so wonderful to me when he met my mother and I, and he spoke in Polish to Ma and to me in English. Ma was in seventh heaven for the rest of her life, having had that experience with him. And on the left is the Archbishop of Perth, and the Bishop of Assisi. And I will never forget the very first thing that he told us when we went to visit him. I took the whole group. He said, "We must become Jesus." Not put Jesus on a pedestal, but we must become Jesus. That was really important. And Dr. Kubler-Ross, who wrote Death and Dying, I did one of her workshops also. And Ms. Sarton, who we invited here to teach and give a workshop. And Arthur Fiedler, he invited Joella Jones, with whom I studied at the Cleveland Institute of Music, and I'm still in touch with her. And she married one of the cellists in the orchestra. And I performed their wedding in Cleveland at St. Francis Church. And I brought both of them into the church. And their celebration included members of the Cleveland Orchestra and chorus. Oh, that was really a wonderful experience. Oh, and by the way, their son is Justin. And I'm still in touch with him too. He's the lawyer in DC. Oh, and Dizzy Gillespie. For those of you who are older, remember him. Very important musician in the jazz field. And here we are, successfully doing the meditation classes, successful relating. We teach the art of listening and the prayer of quiet. So we're always very busy here with workshops and and classes. And, you know, we do have these important energy circles that are, for me, the most important part of the follow-up to what we do. So on Tuesday nights, we have an international meditation group that meets for 1 hour on Zoom. And then we have another energy circle that meets physically here at the Hermitage on Wednesday nights. And we have energy circles going in Europe and in Australia. And there's other energy circles going on here in Indianapolis. And these are so important because when people start getting involved with meditation, you need a support group. And this picture, we put all of our intentions into a box so that we can, in our meditation, focus on all those petitions and send energy to them. And the numbers of successes that we have had in so many areas. People, for example, who needed to find a way to get a car, put the intention in the energy box, and all of the pieces that were necessary fell together, and she got the car of her choice. We've had many people who have used meditation, for example, to overcome migraine headaches, or people who have been able to control pain, or people who have even overcome cancer and AIDS. And so, this work for me is absolutely exciting every single day of my life. And one of the important things that we do at the present point is we do a homily every week at the Sunday Mass, and it's only about 6 to 8 minutes. And we are, touching thousands of people all over the world with this single item. And every day I get success stories from people on how they have used the techniques that we teach to make their lives more happy and more peaceful. And, those are the things that motivate me to continue to do the work that we're doing. Now, I just finished redoing the Successful Living book, and it's now in an ebook, which can be obtained on Amazon. And my next item is going to be to put the Successful Thinking, which is the meditation book, into an ebook. And this is the invitation to the weekly homily. And if you're not getting that link, please be in touch with us. We'll be very happy to put your email address and send that short homily to you every week. And if you're ever in the area, please feel free to come and visit us. And when we ask people, how do you feel? Well, we all feel better and better because your mouth is telling your ears to tell the entire body to feel better.
And now we're going to start group sharing. You'll be put in small groups automatically. And when you're in those groups, what we'd like you to do is share your thoughts or stories about your interactions with Father Justin. And make sure you select a reporter for your group, because when we come back, that person is going to bring just one thought that you had from the group so that we can keep this moving. You'll be told when you're about to return to the large group. And now I'm going to let us see each other. There we go. Okay, and now I will do the break.
Okay, we would like to hear from one person from each group. So can we hear from group one?
I don't think we know what number groups we were, do we?
Yes,
Oh,
we're
I
group,
don't.
Lee, we're group
We,
one.
we were group one, were we? Oh, right. Oops. Sorry, I'm suddenly in the limelight. Hello, Justin. Right, so in our group, which I've just found out was group number one, we had two groups. One was a couple and one was Susan there, who's just dubbed me in. And they're from the States. We also had another two groups from Australia, two groups from Perth, Australia. One was just by herself called Alison, and the other group had 7 people who were meeting in Barbara's place. And they're a silver graduate meeting group or cottage group, and they meet regularly once a month. And then there was me, and I'm from Europe. I'm the only representative in the group one from Europe. And although I also represent Australia because I am an Aussie, and I know Justin because he has been coming for many, many years as our guest to teach successful living in Paris, because I'm a silver director in Paris. So I'm not actually in France at the moment. I'm in England. I'm not allowed back to France for the moment because of the whole COVID situation. So I'm doing nearly all my classes online at the moment. Anyway, so we heard a lot of great stories and reminiscences. Most people in the group have known Justin for 20 to 30 years, if not longer. So, but I was chosen to give my story because it's a great example of how